Hello, this is Christopher Ian Chenoweth. It is so very important to have a spiritual vision for our lives, to have a higher point of view, to have that mountaintop experience every day that we look out of our eyes, to have God's vision from our eyes. I believe that there is always a design or a pattern to the apparent madness of our lives. And everything does happen for the best. I do not know of a single more beautiful and at the same time more challenging idea in all of God's truth than that. On one hand, it tells us that God is so very good and this world is so beautiful and that there is a great bliss to be had right here. On the other hand, well, on the other hand, you and I are confronted with our own experience, which is sometimes happy and sometimes not so happy. There are plenty of times when we don't particularly understand what is going on and why. I had prayer requests today where someone is talking about the noise that is going on at their neighbor's house, and it's going on almost all night long, almost every night. Or those challenges that take place in our work environment, and people complain about the politics in the work environment and what goes on there and the games that have to be played. When we're going through that, we don't see the joy in it. We don't see the truth in it. We may rise up inside of ourselves and we may shout, "Why doesn't God help me?" How could it be true? If something like this is happening continually in my life, that everything works out for the best? Well, here's a question. Do we react with anger and bitterness? Well, to some extent, we probably do. That's our first reaction as a human being. But do we stay in that feeling? Some people do. Some people do their whole life long, and you've known those people. What happens? It ruins their lives. Not the other people, but their life. And when we do that, I honestly believe we're resisting the will of God. Part of the dynamic tension in spirituality is the balance between trying to make a difference in the world and accepting the world the way it is. It appears to be two separate forces, trying to make a difference and accepting things the way they are. But in that balance lay the purpose of our spiritual lives. The world needs us, and we need the world just the way it is. It's not easy to lay hold of this, but it is very, very essential in our experience. Richard Bach, the author that wrote the book Illusions, he wrote this: "The mark of your ignorance is the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy." What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. It is just when we think that it's all over that it is really beginning. There is an incredible spiritual growth that is happening in your life and in my life right now. And this is a high spiritual foundation. And it is perhaps the hardest to accept. That whatever experience that you're having or that I'm having, it is the best thing in the world that could happen right now. It is what I'm talking about, the PhD of spirituality. Think of it as God's will being done for you. Not God punishing you, but God helping you to rise higher. This is exactly what we need to clear out whatever is in the way, to really cleanse our being of whatever has bottled up, to haul out the old garbage and make room for the new. You've heard me talk many times on these broadcasts about thinking back on your life. What appeared to be some of the worst things that could ever happen to you at the time, it turned out to be the best. I remember I had a first marriage go bad, and it absolutely destroyed me at the time. Now, I could have stayed there, but I went on, and it turned out, looking back, I just smile. It turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. There's an ancient spiritual story about a monk that fell off a cliff. Falling, he noticed a branch with one strawberry attached. He plucked it, and how delicious it was. There's a powerful spiritual truth there for us. We have to live in the moment, not in the past. We have to savor the moment. We have to enjoy this moment because it is an ultimate gift from God. We live in here, not out here. And there's a lot of chaos and high, rough, stormy seas many times out here. But peace begins with you. It begins with me, and it can be experienced at any time. God bless you, and God bless your day.